My sister was pampered like a princess while I was ignored. At Grandma's 80th, I casually mentioned I bought a Manhattan penthouse. She threw her wine, my mom cried, and my uncle said, "I guess we backed the wrong kid." Hi Reddit. I'm 29F, and for most of my life, I've been treated like background noise in my own family. My younger sister Lily, 26F, was the miracle baby. She was born when my mom was 40, after years of fertility struggles. The entire family wrapped her in cotton candy and gold ribbons from day one. If she blinked, someone clapped. If I got an A, well, you could have gotten an A+. When I got into NYU on partial scholarship, my dad said, "That's cute. Lily's going Ivy." Spoiler, she didn't. Growing up, birthdays were the most obvious difference. For my 16th, a bookstore gift card. Lily got a sweet 16 with a custom cake, designer heels, and a rented white horse. No joke. At first, I thought I was overreacting, that maybe I just wasn't lovable. But over time, friends, teachers, even my boyfriend, now husband, pointed it out. It wasn't just favoritism. It was full-blown neglect with a smile. I paid for my own college housing. They co-signed on a luxury apartment for Lily. I worked 3 jobs. She failed 3 majors before deciding to focus on content creation. My parents still call her ambitious. We don't speak often. Mostly surface-level texts. But my grandmother, Dad's mom, always made an effort with me. She's old-school tough, but never treated me like an afterthought. Her 80th birthday was coming up, and she wanted the entire family together. Even me. So I flew in. I wore a simple black dress, brought a classic gift, and honestly planned to leave after dessert. Until the moment everything unraveled. It started with Lily walking in late, as usual, wearing a white feathered mini dress, full glam, and dragging a boyfriend I'd never seen before. She barely looked at me before saying loudly to the room, "Sorry. We were finalizing a brand deal." So much paperwork when you're monetized. My mom practically glowed with pride. Someone asked me what I was doing these days. I shrugged. Still working in AI compliance. Pretty boring stuff. Then my uncle, Dad's younger brother, said, "That field's huge in New York, right? You ever move out there?" And I smiled. I didn't mean to say it like a mic drop. I really didn't. "Oh yeah, I bought a place in Manhattan. Penthouse. Just closed last month." The silence hit hard. Someone dropped a fork. Then Lily turned to look at me like I just admitted I was an alien. "You? What?" I nodded. I needed the tax write-off. It's not huge, about 3,000 square feet. But the view's unreal. Lily blinked. My mom made a choking sound. My dad's face went pale. And then it happened. Lily launched her wine glass at the table. Red liquid splashed across the cake. My mom burst into tears. And my Uncle David, who had once said I lacked vision, muttered under his breath, "I guess we backed the wrong kid." And that was just the beginning. The moment the wine hit the cake, the room froze. My grandmother, who had just finished blowing out the candles, calmly set her knife down and said, "Someone clean that up." Now, Lily stormed out. My mom chased after her, wailing, "She's just stressed. She's under so much pressure." My dad sat there like a statue, staring at the tablecloth as if he'd suddenly aged 10 years. No one said a word for a few long seconds, until my cousin Maya, bless her, leaned in and whispered, "You own a penthouse?" I nodded. "East Side. Near the park." Her jaw dropped. "And you just casually dropped that like it was nothing?" I shrugged again. It was nothing to them, remember? They never asked. The texts came that night. I didn't stay long after that. Said my goodbyes to Grandma, kissed her cheek, and slipped out before the fireworks really started. By the time I got to my hotel, my phone was lighting up. "Mom, how dare you humiliate your sister like that? You knew she was struggling with her platform lately." "Dad, this is not how we raised you. You don't flaunt money at family gatherings." "Lily, you've always been jealous. Admit it." "Uncle David, I meant what I said. If they don't see it now, they never will." "Grandma, next time, stay longer. I'm proud of you." And then, a voice memo from Lily. I didn't even listen to it. I could already guess the tone, high-pitched, passive-aggressive, and full of twisted victimhood. It always is. A few days later, the guilt campaign begins. By Wednesday, Mom had pivoted from anger to emotional blackmail. "You know your sister's therapist said she has comparison trauma, right? She feels invisible now. You could have told us privately. Or better yet, not at all. What were you trying to prove? Your father hasn't been sleeping." I finally replied to one of them. For once, the spotlight accidentally hit me. "That's all it took for you all to unravel." Interesting. She left me on read. Then came the Manhattan visit. Friday evening. Doorbell buzzed. I wasn't expecting anyone. Through the intercom, "It's Mom. And your sister." I just stared at the panel. My building has a doorman, a concierge, and 2 security check-ins. Somehow, they had made it through. Likely told the staff it was a family emergency. I didn't buzz them in. 2 minutes later, the front desk called, "Ms. Grant, there are 2 women here insisting they're your family and need to see you immediately." I calmly responded, "I'm not accepting visitors. Please escort them out." And that was that. They went home embarrassed, but the silence didn't last long. Now Lily's posting vague quotes on Instagram. Nothing hurts more than being betrayed by your own blood. Some people only care when you're quiet and obedient. And my mom? She's been sending long texts every morning. Paragraphs full of emotional history. How hard things were for her when Lily was born, how they tried their best, how they didn't realize how neglected I felt. One even ended with, "Maybe we made mistakes, but we're still your family." I haven't responded. Not out of spite, just peace. Because for the first time in years, I feel no obligation to fix their feelings. I'm not their backup dancer anymore. And they're finally realizing the show goes on without them. After I refused to let them into my building, the narrative flipped fast. Suddenly, I was the cold one. The selfish one. The heartless daughter who couldn't even let her struggling sister in for 5 minutes. I didn't respond to any of it. I didn't post anything. I didn't engage. So Lily started posting for both of us. It started with selfies. Lily in front of a generic high-rise window with the caption, "Your location doesn't determine your worth." Heart, penthouse. Then came the throwbacks. Childhood photos of us, where she was front and center, and I was somewhere blurry in the back, with captions like, "Even when no one clapped for me, I still kept shining." And then, she posted my building. Not just a vague reference, an actual street view. Cropped and filtered, but still recognizable if you knew Manhattan. Caption, "You can't buy peace. Especially when you burn bridges to get there." I stared at it for a full minute. No tags. No direct mention. Just public enough to invite speculation. Just vague enough to deny targeting me. I didn't say a word. But I did send it to my building security with a note. "If this account or anyone connected to it enters or films near the premises, please log and report." Then she made it personal. Lily tried texting again. "Can we just talk? One-on-one. No mom, no dad. Just us." I didn't answer. 3 hours later, she left a voicemail. "You're acting like I'm the villain." I never asked to be the favorite. You could have been more open about how you felt. But no, you'd rather make us look bad in front of the whole family just to flex. Is that what makes you happy? It was wild how quickly her tone shifted from fake peace to guilt to weaponized therapy language. You're emotionally withholding. You perform independence as a trauma response. As if she had just discovered psychology terms on TikTok and decided I was the case study. I didn't reply. Again. And then the phone call came. Not from Lily. From my dad. He hadn't called me in years, not since I moved out at 19. He only used to email when he needed something urgent, like help with taxes or researching a new insurance plan for Lily. But now? "Hi, it's me, your father." No greeting. No softness. "Listen, we're not asking for anything, but this has gone too far. Your sister is not well. You humiliated her. We need to bring this family back together." I let him speak. 5 minutes of monologue about restoring balance, how grandma's party wasn't the time, and how legacy matters more than location. Then he said, "You're acting like you don't care about anyone. But one day, you'll regret isolating yourself. Money isn't everything." And that was the moment I broke my silence. I said, "You're right. Money isn't everything. But respect is. And I've never had that from you. So this isn't isolation, this is peace." Click. Lily's last attempt. Going public. 3 days later, she made a YouTube video. Title: "Why I Cut Off My Sister, the Truth They Don't Want You to Hear." It was full of vague allusions. A close family member tried to humiliate me at a party. She thinks she's better because of her job. Just know this. What people post online isn't the full story. The comments were mixed. Some supportive. Others asking why she never showed her alleged mean sister. A few people even noticed inconsistencies and called her out. "Wait, didn't she brag about a luxury apartment last month? Why are you mad your sister is successful?" This feels jealous, not empowering. The video didn't trend. It didn't go viral. And within a week, it quietly disappeared. The silence has returned. But this time, it's heavy. My mom sends the occasional "thinking of you" text, followed by links to articles like "why sisters shouldn't compete." I don't respond. Lily hasn't posted in a while. Her content engagement has tanked. Her last brand deal dropped her. Apparently some followers flagged the family drama. And my dad? He sent a final message last night. "We may have handled things wrong, but shutting us out completely is cruel." I almost replied. Almost. But then I looked around at my life, my home, my dog curled at my feet, the startup I built with my own hands, the peace I worked for, and I realized cruel would be letting them back in. A few weeks passed. Lily's smear campaign faded. Her video disappeared. Her Instagram was suddenly on a break for mental health. And my parents stopped trying. It felt like they were regrouping. Or worse, planning something. But then I got a call. Not from them. From Grandma's attorney. "She'd like to speak with you privately." I hadn't seen my grandmother since her birthday party. She'd called once, left a short voicemail. "You handled yourself well. Proud of you. Don't forget where you came from or where you're going." Now her lawyer was reaching out. We met in her townhouse on the Upper West Side. Just the two of us. She looked smaller than I remembered, but sharper than ever. She poured tea like nothing had happened. Then she said, "They think they've won me over. All that crying, begging, acting like victims." She stirred her tea, then glanced up. "But I've been watching, listening, and reading. Especially that video your sister posted before she pulled it. She thought I wouldn't see it. I blinked. You saw it. Twice. Sloppy storytelling. No receipts." We both laughed. Then she slid a folder across the table. Inside, her updated trust document. "I've revised things," she said. "It's not about punishment. It's about responsibility." In short, she'd made it official. Her home? Going into a trust, with me as executor. Her accounts? Split, yes, but with control provisions. I'd be the sole cosigner on any distributions in the event of demonstrated need. Her heirlooms, assets, investments? Protected. Tied to specific, documented milestones. And a clause that made me pause. In the event that any beneficiary attempts to challenge the terms of this trust, their share shall be forfeited entirely. She looked me in the eye. "I'm not giving them power. I'm giving you peace of mind." I didn't plan to tell anyone, but Lily found out. Grandma had mentioned something vague at dinner about updating her affairs, and Lily, of course, assumed she'd just scored big. A week later, I got a text. "Did you manipulate Grandma into changing her will? That's financial abuse." I'm serious. Then, "We all know you've always wanted to replace me." And then the kicker. "If you don't reverse this, I swear I'll challenge everything in court." So I sent one message. Read the clause. Page 14, paragraph 3. She didn't reply. Later that night, Dad called. I didn't pick up. His voicemail was short. "She's crying. Again. Hope you're proud." I am. I'm proud. Not because I won, but because I stopped participating in a rigged system. My grandmother's trust isn't about money, it's about boundaries. For the first time, I don't have to worry about being erased or overridden. The decisions are documented, protected, and legal. Lily's still quiet. She unfollowed me. Mom tried one last time. A long text about how money is driving this family apart. I didn't reply, but I did text Grandma. "Thank you. For everything." She sent back one line. "You earned it. The rest just expected it." Epilogue. It's quiet now. I walk my dog every morning past the park. My company just hit its next funding milestone. And sometimes I still think about that birthday dinner, the wine, the silence, the shift. They used to make me feel invisible. Now I've made myself undeniable. Comment if you've ever had a family member expect to be handed everything just for showing up. Would you have told Lily about the clause, or let her walk straight into court and lose everything?